Hey everyone. Have you ever struggled to get an AI image generator to create the exact image you have in your head?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I feel like I'm always fighting with those text prompts.
Yeah.
And they never quite get it right, you know?
Yeah, they can be so limiting, right?
Totally. Well, get this.
Okay.
Researchers at Stanford University has come up with a way to give us way more control over AI-generated images.
Oh wow.
It's called ControlNet.
Interesting.
And it's seriously cool.
So what is it exactly?
Well, basically, ControlNet lets you use additional images like sketches or outlines
Okay.
to guide the AI model as it's generating the image.
Oh, so you're giving it a visual blueprint to work with.
Exactly. It's instead of just describing what you want with words, you can actually show the AI what you're thinking.
That makes a lot of sense.
You got it.
So is this mostly for Stable Diffusion, or can it be used with other models too?
Well, they specifically tested it with Stable Diffusion.
Okay.
But the cool thing is that the researchers say it can be applied to other diffusion models as well.
Very cool.
And it's not just limited to sketches either.
Yeah.
They tested it with all sorts of visual guides like depth maps, segmentation maps,
Wow.
even just scribbles.
That's amazing. I'm trying to picture how that would even work.
I know, right? Okay, so in the paper, they have this one example that totally blew my mind.
Okay.
They took this simple, black and white outline of a deer.
Okay.
And ControlNet used that to generate a full-color, photorealistic deer image.
Whoa.
It had golden antlers and everything.
That's incredible. So you're saying I could basically just doodle a rough shape
Yeah,
and the AI could turn that into a photorealistic image?
pretty much. It's like magic, but it's real.
That's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
But I'm curious from a technical standpoint.
Yeah.
How does ControlNet actually work? I mean,
Yeah.
training a large AI model on something completely new can be really tricky, right?
Oh, totally. It's like trying to teach an old dog new tricks.
Right. Sometimes they forget the old ones in the process.
Exactly. That's what they call catastrophic forgetting in AI.
Oh, interesting.
And it's a major challenge.
So how did the ControlNet team get around that?
Well, they came up with this super clever solution.
Okay.
Instead of retraining the entire AI model from scratch,
Yeah.
they basically create a copy of parts of the original model.
Oh, I see.
And they train that copy on the new task.
So the original AI brain stays intact and this sidekick learns the new stuff.
Exactly. And to connect the copy to the original model, they use these things called zero convolution layers.
Zero convolution.
Yeah, it's a bit technical.
Okay.
But basically,
Yeah.
these layers help the model learn from the new images without messing up its pre-existing knowledge.
Oh, so it's like a safety net to prevent it from getting confused during training.
Exactly. Pretty ingenious, right?
It is, and that probably makes it way more efficient than retraining the entire model, right?
Oh yeah, way more efficient.
I bet that would take a ton of computing power and time.
Totally. But with ControlNet, they managed to make it work on just a single powerful graphics card.
Wow, so this is something people could actually use at home.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
really bringing this powerful technology to the masses.
That's amazing. But
Yeah.
all this talk about the technical details is making me really curious about what this thing can actually do.
Oh, I know. The possibilities are seriously mind-blowing.
Okay, spill the beans. What kind of cool stuff can you do with ControlNet?
Well, get ready because we're about to dive into some seriously cool examples.
Okay, I'm all ears. Hit me with it.
So one of the things that really blew my mind
Yeah.
is this sudden convergence phenomenon they describe in the paper.
Sudden convergence?
Yeah, so when they're training the model,
Yeah.
it starts out by generating good images, but they don't really follow the control images that well.
Okay.
But then all of a sudden, bam! It's like a light bulb goes off and it just starts nailing it every single time.
Whoa, so it's like the model has this aha moment.
Exactly. And those zero convolution layers we talked about,
Yeah.
they actually help prevent the model from getting confused during those early stages,
Oh, interesting.
which seems to contribute to that sudden convergence thing.
So it's like they're training wheels for the AI model.
Yeah, kind of. It's like they let the model learn gradually, and then once it's ready, it can just take off.
That's fascinating. But okay, enough with the technical stuff for a second.
Okay.
What can you actually do with ControlNet?
All right, buckle up because we're about to dive into some seriously cool examples.
Okay, I'm ready. Hit me with it. Welcome back to our deep dive into ControlNet.
Yeah, last time we were talking about how ControlNet gives us all this control over AI-generated images.
Yeah, like using those extra images as guides.
Exactly. Sketches, outlines, depth maps.
And remember those zero convolution layers?
Oh yeah, those were so cool. They basically help the model learn new tricks without forgetting the old ones.
Right, it's like having a safety net for the AI's brain.
But I'm dying to know what we can actually DO with this technology.
Okay, so get this. You're a game designer,
Yeah.
and you want to create a super realistic environment for your game.
Yeah.
Instead of spending hours and hours modeling every little detail.
Ugh, that sounds like a nightmare.
I know, right? Well, with ControlNet, you could use a depth map.
A depth map?
Yeah, it's basically an image that shows how far away each point is.
Okay.
And ControlNet could generate a photorealistic scene based on that.
Whoa, hold on. So I could like sketch out the layout of a level.
Exactly.
Indicate like how far away things are, and ControlNet would just fill in all the details.
Yep, textures, lighting, everything.
That's insane. It would save game developers so much time.
Totally. And it opens up all these new creative possibilities.
Okay, but it's not just for games, right? What else can you do with it?
Well, imagine you want to create an image of a person striking a specific pose
Okay.
in a particular environment.
Yeah.
You could give ControlNet a pose sketch to control the person's body position and a depth map to define the environment.
Okay.
ControlNet could then combine those two things
Yeah.
to generate an image that reflects both the pose and the scene.
It's like having a virtual puppeteer and set designer all in one.
Exactly.
But hold on a sec.
Yeah.
How do you even create those control images in the first place?
That's a great question, and the ControlNet researchers are already thinking about that.
Okay, good, because I can barely draw a stick figure.
Boy, they're working on tools and techniques to make it easier for everyone,
Oh, that's good to hear.
even if you're not an artist or a designer.
So maybe someday we'll have apps where you can just like scribble something on your phone
Exactly.
and ControlNet can turn it into a masterpiece.
Exactly. That's the whole point, to make AI image generation more accessible to everyone.
This is so cool. I'm getting really excited about the future of AI art.
Me too.
But okay, let's be real for a second.
Yeah,
Are there any limitations to ControlNet?
that's a good point.
Like, can it handle really complex scenes?
Well, ControlNet is still under development.
Okay.
And like any new technology, it has its limitations.
Okay.
Handling those super complex scenes is still a challenge for AI in general.
Okay. So maybe it can't create a perfect replica of Times Square.
Not yet.
All right, fair enough.
But the research is moving really fast.
Okay.
And I'm sure we'll see huge improvements in the near future.
That's good to hear. So it sounds like ControlNet is still in its early stages,
Yeah,
but it's showing a ton of promise.
absolutely.
I'm curious, what real-world applications do you see for this technology?
Well, talked about game development,
Right.
but think about architects.
Okay.
They could use ControlNet to quickly sketch out building designs and then generate realistic renderings.
Wow. Yeah. No more spending hours creating detailed 3D models.
Exactly. It would make the whole design process way more efficient.
Okay, so game design, architecture, what else?
Well, product design.
Okay.
Imagine sketching a concept for a new phone or a shoe.
Yeah.
ControlNet could create high-fidelity images that show exactly what you have in mind. It's like having a virtual prototyping lab.
Precisely. This is amazing. But the possibilities go beyond design, right?
Oh, absolutely. Think about scientific research.
Okay.
ControlNet could help scientists visualize complex data,
Yeah.
create simulations, generate images of hypothetical objects,
Oh, that's incredible.
and then there's healthcare.
Okay, yeah. I was just thinking about that.
Doctors could use ControlNet to generate custom medical images
Oh, wow.
tailored to each patient.
That would be huge for personalized medicine.
Exactly. And imagine surgeons using ControlNet to practice complex procedures.
Oh, yeah. On like virtual models of the patient's own anatomy.
Exactly. And think about drug discovery.
Okay.
ControlNet could help visualize molecules and biological processes,
Wow.
potentially leading to new life-saving treatments.
This is mind-blowing. It sounds like ControlNet could revolutionize so many fields.
It really could.
But with all this talk about the positive applications,
Yeah.
we also have to consider the potential downsides.
Right?
Are there any ethical concerns we should be thinking about?
Absolutely. Like any powerful technology,
Yeah.
ControlNet could be misused.
Okay, so like what kind of concerns are we talking about?
Well, for one, it could be used to create more convincing deepfakes
Oh, yeah. That's a scary thought.
or to spread misinformation.
Right, because as this technology gets better,
Yeah.
it's going to be harder and harder to tell what's real and what's fake.
Exactly. It could erode our trust in visual media.
That's a big problem.
It is.
It is.
And that's why we need to start establishing ethical guidelines now.
Yeah, before it's too late.
Exactly. We need to involve ethicists, policymakers, and the public in this conversation.
So it's not just about the technical stuff, it's about the social and ethical implications too.
Exactly. We need to make sure this technology is used for good.
This has been a really thought-provoking conversation.
It has. ControlNet is definitely a game changer.
I can't wait to see what people create with it.
Me too. But before we get too carried away with the future,
Yeah.
let's take a moment to appreciate the researchers who developed this technology.
Oh yeah, they've made a huge contribution to the field.
They really have.
And it's so inspiring to see them pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Absolutely. But there's one final aspect of ControlNet that I think you'll find particularly interesting.
Okay, I'm all ears. What is it?
Let's talk about ControlNet's potential impact on creativity itself.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm intrigued. Tell me more. Okay, so we're back, and we've been talking all about ControlNet and how it's changing the game for AI image generation.
Yeah, it's really incredible technology.
And in this last part, I want to dive into something that I find particularly fascinating.
Okay, what's that?
How ControlNet might actually change the very nature of creativity itself.
Oh, wow, that's a big question.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, for so long we've thought of creativity as this like uniquely human thing.
Totally. But now with AI getting so good at generating images,
Right?
It feels like those lines are starting to blur a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. It's almost like AI is becoming a partner in the creative process.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Like augmenting our own imaginations.
Exactly. And that partnership can take so many different forms.
Like what? Give me an example.
Well, imagine a musician using ControlNet
Okay.
to visualize the emotions they want to convey in their music,
Interesting.
and then using those images to inspire new melodies or harmonies.
Oh, wow. So it's like having a muse that speaks the language of visuals.
Exactly. And it's not just about music either.
What else?
Well, think about a writer who's struggling to visualize a character or a scene.
Okay, yeah.
They could use ControlNet to generate those visuals and then use them as inspiration for their writing.
Oh, that's cool. So it's like ControlNet can help unlock hidden creative potential.
Exactly. And because a ControlNet can work with all sorts of inputs,
Like sketches and depth maps and stuff.
exactly, it opens up even more creative possibilities.
Okay, so give me another example.
Okay, imagine a dancer using ControlNet to translate their movements into abstract art.
Whoa, that's cool. Like capturing the essence of their performance visually.
Exactly. Or a chef using ControlNet to visualize the flavors and textures of a new dish.
Oh, wow, yeah. That would be amazing. It's like the boundaries between different art forms are starting to disappear.
I know. It's really exciting.
Okay, but here's the question that's been bugging me.
What's that?
If AI can help us be more creative, does that mean human creativity is less valuable?
That's a really interesting question, and I think it's something a lot of people are worried about.
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't think it's that simple.
Okay, how so?
I think AI tools like ControlNet don't replace human creativity, they amplify it.
Okay, I
Yeah.
see what you're saying. It's like they give us new tools, but it's still up to us to use them creatively.
Exactly. The human artist, musician, writer, whoever, is still bringing their own unique vision and experiences to the table.
So it's not about AI replacing human artists. It's
Yeah.
about AI becoming like a collaborator.
Exactly. A partner in the creative process.
And as AI gets even better,
Yeah.
I can imagine those collaborations becoming even more amazing.
Oh, totally. Imagine an architect working with an AI to design a building that's not only beautiful, but also functional and sustainable.
Or a filmmaker using AI to create visual effects that are just mind-blowing.
Exactly. The possibilities are endless.
This is getting me so pumped about the future. But of course, we have to be realistic.
Yeah.
There are some potential challenges and ethical concerns we need to think about.
Oh, for sure. Like any powerful technology, AI image generation can be misused.
Okay, like how? What kind of things are we talking about?
Well, one big concern is misinformation.
Okay.
As these tools get more sophisticated, it's going to be harder to tell what's real and what's fake.
Yeah, that's a scary thought.
Right. Like imagine someone using ControlNet to create a deepfake video that looks totally real.
Oh man, that would be bad. It could really erode trust in everything we see online.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so important to start having these conversations now.
Yeah, about ethics and responsibility.
Exactly. We need to figure out how to use this technology safely and ethically.
And we need to be more critical of the images we see online.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I can't just blindly trust everything we see anymore.
Okay, so we've talked about misinformation. What else? Are there any other concerns?
Well, another thing people are worried about is the impact on artists and creative professionals.
Oh, right. Like, if AI can generate art, why would anyone hire a human artist?
Exactly. And that's a valid concern.
Yeah, it's kind of scary, honestly.
It is, but I think human creativity will always have value.
Okay, why do you think that?
Because human creativity is rooted in our experiences, our
Yeah.
emotions, our perspectives.
Yeah, it comes from a real place.
Exactly. AI can mimic those things, but it can't truly replicate them.
So it's the human element, the soul behind the creation that makes it special.
Exactly. And I think as AI tools get better,
Yeah.
the role of the human artist might actually evolve.
Oh, interesting. How so?
Well, instead of focusing on technical skills,
Yeah.
artists might become more like curators.
Curators.
Yeah, like they'll guide the AI, select the best outputs, and give them meaning and context.
Oh, that's a cool way to think about it. So it's not about AI replacing artists. It's about AI giving artists new ways to express themselves.
Exactly. And I think that could lead to some really amazing new art forms.
This has been such an incredible deep dive.
I know. ControlNet is truly groundbreaking technology.
It's both exciting and a little bit scary.
Yeah, for sure. It's pushing us to rethink what's possible and to consider the ethical implications.
And I think the biggest takeaway for me
Yeah.
is that the future of AI isn't set in stone.
It's straight.
It's something that we're all shaping together.
Through our choices, our actions, and our conversations.
So let's keep exploring, let's keep questioning, and let's make sure we're using this technology for good.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. But thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into ControlNet.
It's been my pleasure.
And we'll see you next time.